concept than a movement, but it's an initiative, I suppose. It's called the To Write Love on Her Arms initiative, which aims to raise awareness on mental health issues in general and send out the message that it's okay to ask for people for help in this regard. In studio with us is Jess Mannion, who's a lecturer of psychology and professional studies at IT Sligo, and Noel Kelly joins us as well. Noel is a mature student at IT Sligo who's studying social care practice. Good morning to you both, and thanks for joining us.
Morning, thanks for having us.
It's an interesting concept. To Write Love on Her Arms. It is a global movement, Noel, isn't that right?
Yes. It was founded in 2006 in America, and it began when a young woman was suffering from drug addiction and self-harm. And she went to her friends for help, and she went to rehab, and she was unable to attend the rehab until she was clean, so she had to wait 5 days. And there is a movie on this. It came out recently this month. It's called To Write Love in Her Arms, and it's a great movie. It shows exactly what happened, and what her friend did is he set up, he wrote her story and put it on a blog on the internet, and it went viral. And the t-shirts as well had to write Love in Her Arms with them, and they got very popular and they sold all over the world. So that's how it went global. And now it's all over the world, and there's young volunteers that ever do movings all over the world, and we're trying to do the first one in Ireland here in Sligo.
Okay, and that's where you come into this, Jess. And when you say to write Love in Her Arms, you mean that quite literally, isn't that right?
Yeah, well, what you can do is a lot of the events, people actually get painted the words To Write Love on Her Arms, and it's there instead of self-harm marks. And then if people ask, people see you and they say, well, why do you have love painted on your arm? Then you can say, well, I want to create awareness on mental health and addiction. So I think it's a very visual way, and it really attracts young people, which is good, because our message is, people need other people. You need to talk, you need to speak out to break the stigma against mental health, so people don't feel ashamed and go and get some help.
Okay, as we were hearing a moment ago from Noel, it's a global movement. So how long has it been in Ireland, or what stage is it at the moment?
Well, a couple of years ago I used to work in addiction, and I ran the event for 1 year. And I hadn't done it in a couple of years, and I thought it would be really good to get it up and going again. So I decided I'd see could I run the event again. And I just got the word out to people that I knew and friends, and I ended up getting a team of really good volunteers. There's 7 people on board, and they're a mixture of professionals and students from IT Sligo from the social care and early years course. And it's kind of got bigger than having one event. We've organised loads of different things, and we're having ongoing events, and we're really just a movement, something that's kind of ongoing as opposed to just a once-off event.
Okay, and presumably what you say there, and as you say, you were an addiction counsellor as well, there is a need to create this sort of awareness.
There is.
Which speaks volumes, of course, as well.
From working in addiction for about 4 years, I realised a lot of people were afraid to come and get help and to talk because of the whole stigma around these issues. So it's to create awareness so people aren't afraid to go out and ask for that help, and they don't feel so ashamed. Because issues like mental health and addiction, it's an illness and you can't help it. So you need somebody to help you along the way. So we're really trying to get rid of that stigma.
All right. Who supports this? Is it? Do you get any grant aid from the government, or how does this work exactly? Or do you rely on local sponsors?
We're just a group of 8 people that have got together, that meet in a coffee shop and have our meetings and come up with ideas of what we'd like to do. We have no money whatsoever, apart from Youth with a Mission Ireland. We went to them and they kindly donated €100. So that's all we have in the bank at the minute. So we're really crying out for people to say, look, this is a great initiative. It's for the Sligo community, and we're going to be helping people. So if anybody would like to sponsor us, what we're going to do is we're going to include them in all our media. The Sligo Champion, they're following all our events and all our stories, and also on our Facebook and Twitter page. So if anybody would like to get involved, we'd really appreciate that.
Okay, so this obviously is one aspect of the whole fundraising aspect of this is important. It's something you're looking for all the time.
Yes, I'm also in today I'm going to get into contact with a charity organisation over this online, and I want to set up a fundraising page.
Okay, the college, this is, both of you, Jess, you're a lecturer and Noel, you're a mature student, so the college involvement, the awareness in the college is important as well, no doubt.
Yes, I came up with an idea myself. I felt like initially it was going to be the main event we were going to have, but I felt getting the students involved is always a good way, because our main aim is to help young people, but all age groups as well. But I thought it'd be great to have an event in the college, as that'll give us a platform for a lot of young people. So the college event is going to be on the 13th of April. We're going to have a stand outside the canteen in the college around 1 o'clock. And we're just going to raise awareness, have information there, and if people come to us about supports or help, we'll be there to talk to them.
All right, okay, and you're broadening this. I mentioned, obviously, you have connections with IT Sligo, strong connections, but you're broadening this out, aren't you, Jess, into the community in general in Sligo, as you did before a couple of years ago?
Yeah, we invite different organisations to come along some of our events. The Samaritans are very supportive of us at the minute. We actually have a meeting coming up with them, and they're going to come to our main event in Quayside on the 22nd of May. We also have different community agencies that have come to us and offered us raffle prizes and different things like that as well. And The Vibe, which is a tattoo studio, they've supported us in one of our fundraising initiatives, where all the volunteers are going to get a tattoo of the To Write Love on Her Arm logo, and we're going to ask people to sponsor us. So the 6 of us getting a tattoo, so we thought even if we could get €100 each from going around asking people, and the Vibe have kindly offered us a tattoo at cost price, so we can put all the money into the event.
All right, when people hear about, an initiative called To Write Love in Her Arms, writing that doesn't have to be permanent, does it? It can be temporary.
We're getting our permanent tattoo because we're very passionate about the cause and we want to raise some money. But when they do, they're only just getting love painted with face paint, so it's something that could be wiped off afterwards.
All right, okay. As a lecturer in psychology and professional studies, where are we at in relation to the whole mental health situation in this country? We're talking about it now, we're made more aware of it, but is the problem getting any better, do you think, Jess?
I think that people are feeling more comfortable to speak out, particularly young people, and I think social media has a lot to do with that, but I still think we have a long way to go. The language that's used around mental health, and if you look at the media, has a huge influence, and when you look at mental health within the media, it's usually very negative. If you look at horror films and psychiatric hospitals, this whole link, but I think we are going forward, but what we want to do here in Sligo is to push that a little bit further.
Okay, and apparently you said at the outset as well, it's very important that we talk about it, and it's very important for anybody going through these issues that they make it known and talk about it. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. No, talking is important. It's the first step to recovery, and it's the way that's going to help you. Because if you keep it to yourself, you're never going to be able to walk through these issues, and you're never going to be able to find out what supports are out there. And there's a huge amount of supports in Sligo, so we can send you in the right direction. No, if anybody wants to get involved in relation to this, how would they go about it?
Well, during the event in Sligo, in Quayside, on the 22nd of May, we're going to have the chance for people there to join our cause. We'll have our recruitment drive. Jess can explain how that would work.
Yeah, so we have a recruitment officer, one of our volunteers, Karen, and she previously worked as a recruitment officer, so she has the experience. So she's hoping to link in with the Sligo Volunteer Centre, and we're going to set up some policies that if volunteers want to come on board, that we'll be able to support them the best that we can. But in the meantime, we're staying with the 8 of us because we're well established and we're starting this off and see how we get on. If it's a thing that people want to come to us and support us, either by getting involved in initiatives, if it's organisations, or giving us some sponsorship or funding, you can get us on the Facebook or Twitter page and contact us there if you want to come forward. And then if it's somebody with a mental health or addiction issue, just come and chat to us. We're all really approachable and really friendly, and we understand where you're coming from, and we'll chat to you.
All right. Okay, Jess and Noel, thanks for joining us this morning in the studio. That's Jess Mannion and Noel Kelly there. We'll take a quick break. It's 14 minutes now to 10. Back in a moment.
Ocean FM. While you're listening to this, people who could be your customers are listening to us.